All right, what is up, guys? Cole is here today, back like the good old days. Today we're going to be doing some installs on the 350Z. As you can tell from the title of the video, today we're going to be installing a sub and amp into this car. So we'll show you. All right, so I actually got this used from a guy who actually had it out of the Z. That's the amp, the Brutus, I don't know, Hyphonic, something like that. It's two of the 10-inch CD Sound Stratos. And we also have a big sheet of plywood because I don't have the wood there anymore. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Install, boy. Dang. All right, so the Z has a fun little battery cubby. Just take the negative terminal off to figure out what size. Tons of plastic pieces. We actually had to take just this panel off here. All right, so we're thinking right here, this grommet is where we're gonna run our power wire through. All right, so for anyone who's never installed a sub before, basically all the components you need is you need a subwoofer, you need an amp, and you need a wiring. The best trick me and Cole found is Walmart actually sells this brand of all the wiring you need except for like the gauge wire, just like a 12 gauge wire. This stuff works really well. We've had it in both our cars. There's tons of different sizes. Depending on what you're running, like with the 10-inch, I had a 600. Cole's 212, he runs the 1600, and these 210s are running 1600, which is like the top of the line. But basically it includes the power wire, ground wire, the audio cable, which that's just the RCAs, the remote turn on wire, and the terminals with those. So it includes everything you need besides the sub and amp. Basically what we got going on here is, on the Z at least, the best way to get it through the firewall is we just cut a little X. We found it in a forum, and we're just gonna attempt with how thick that wire is just to push it right on through. Oh, did I need that? All right, so we got it through. You can see where it went through at, somewhat, maybe. And you can see we got a good amount of wiring. Still got a lot more. Oh my gosh. All right, so unfortunately this huge wire, it's kind of hard to get all that out. So Cole's currently working on getting all, what are you doing even?
Getting it wired.
Whatever, I don't know how you say it, but yeah.
Getting wired?
Yeah, putting that piece onto the terminal. All right, so Cole's getting all that wired up there. Got the power wire, ran all the way to the back. Now our amp's gonna be sitting here, but we have so much extra, it's better to have it in the back. So now what I'm gonna do, move this wire inside of the panel. Typically, kind of annoying, but I actually had to go ahead and take this whole piece off because when you look, if you look, I had to unbolt that, that little guy there, and that plastic piece is connected. The only way to get this plastic panel off is with this one off. So just an annoying other step, but I'm gonna just go ahead and get this power wire ran. Next, we're gonna move to these two, which is the RCA and the remote turn on wire. Best way to get this piece off is to pull from the shift boot. We do. So now we just gotta take this clip off. All right, guys. So little update. I got the head unit out. This is also connected. Basically, with the nav, you can actually pull it out. There's no bolts here. If you don't have the nav, there's 2 more bolts for the head unit. Otherwise, they're under it. With the Pioneers, you just have to look up a wiring diagram for your own. But you're gonna look for one that says amp turn on. And actually, for the blue wire that I showed you guys, that connects to this one right here. So for the Pioneer, it's the blue and white. You're just gonna double check. We're gonna connect that together, and that's how the amp will automatically turn on. And then the RCAs, these, are gonna connect to right here where it says rear subwoofer on the back of the head unit. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and get these crimped together. All right, so probably one of the more major updates. I believe where I last stopped, I was going ahead and wiring together the amp turn on. We've got all the wiring now to the trunk. So I'm gonna show you how we do it. Kind of a pain, but I figured I'd show you how to do it. I'm not sure if it's different for the HR versus DE models. The video we watched was for an HR, so I don't think really, it's just a little different, but pretty much the same thing. So basically, we had to take off this whole entire panel here, and it was super easy. I can actually just show you. There is right there on the sides of the panel, there were one on each side. You unbolt that. You unbolt the 2 bolts right up here up front. And then once you get that, it loosens up and you just disconnect this, which is for your hazards. So once that's all done, as you can see in there, the RCA's in the blue turn-on wire, I just ran through the whole back side of the car. Okay, hold this, and then we pushed it through this hole here, and then it actually goes right into this hole.
Oh, mother.
And this hole's actually here if you were to have the Z that has the Bose system. That's where the Bose sub goes. And to take this panel off, we just pry it off with the screwdriver. So you just run all the wires. We even ran our power through there. And then there's actually where Cole's at. Let's see if I can show you. There's a little hole, yeah, right there. And that's where we ran them all through to our amp, which is right there. Cole also connected, if you look, the black one, that's the ground. There's actually just space for the ground. Just find a bolt, sand it to bare metal. You want it to be specifically bare metal, and then screw it back in. We're good there, and then we've got everything else wired up. So now I just need to go ahead and put the interior back together, or at least plug everything back in. If you don't plug everything back in and you connect your battery, you're actually gonna get a lot of code. All right, guys, what is up? So we're back. Everything's set up, and we've shot it a few times trying to get it. That's kind of the thing with subwoofers, is it really, you're lucky if it works the first time. It worked the first time on the Fusion, but the Subaru, it took me like 3 days to figure out what was wrong. All right, what is up, guys? It is now day 2 of the sub install on the 350Z. As you can see here, everything still all torn apart, yet I have all the wiring plugged in, and the sub is back there. So basically the issue, it's just not powering on. So unfortunately, that's a really common thing with all the subs we've installed. They haven't worked perfectly. So now it's just going to be getting a level meter to right here on the amp, and we're going to be testing the remote turn-on wire and the power wire. And if both those two are getting power, then that means it's the ground wire. If one of those aren't getting it, that means it's one of those. So it looks like the remote turn-on is what's wrong. So that is what this wire is in here. You can't hear anything. All right, guys, so what I think we figured out, what I had it connected to was right here. And apparently the Z has 2 separate harnesses for the aftermarket. And I had it connected to this one, which was connected to this harness, which was part of that. But what I was looking for was the blue and the white for the Pioneer. So there's actually 2 different blue and white ones. So now we're gonna try it out with the blue and white that's right here connected, that goes and connects to the head unit. I'm almost certain that'll work, because this one was connected to this harness here, because the Subaru, or the 350 has 2 separate harnesses. So let's go ahead and test it. All right, guys. So she works. I was right. It was just that quick wiring, redoing the wiring to right there. Didn't get the first reaction, but it's really quiet right now. You can hardly hear it. That's just because a lot of tuning and a lot of stuff in the head unit's got to take place now to get it to sound good. So basically I'm just gonna do reverse of what you guys have seen the whole entire video. Get this interior back together. Forgot that he threw this in here, and it's just like a gain volume knob. Basically I'm just gonna run this through that exact same passageway back there, and through the head unit and have it mount somewhere up here. Alright, so as you can see, I've got it all zip tied up, and then I have the gain just going on this side. It's just going to be 3M taped to like right here, or sorry, like right over here. So now that that's all zip tied up, I have the wire ran. It's already plugged into the amp. Now the next piece is wherever I put it. Oh, it's over here. The next piece is to get the head unit back in. As you can see, all that's in. So don't forget there's one bolt there and one bolt there to tighten. I did lose a bolt somehow, so I definitely bolted the 2 for the head unit. I want to get these 2, and then there's also one under this guy right there, so don't forget about that one. And then there's 2 right there and right there, like on the side of the seat. Alright guys, what is up? So since that last clip you saw of me putting the interior back together, we are done. The car is completely put back together. Everything's done. It is now, you can see, dark outside. But also you can see she is all 100% back together. One thing I'm going to do still, see it too much, but you can see the power wire right there. Because we put it in there with everything else, it's just worked the best to get it past this whole piece. There's the power wire running through there. And basically what I'm gonna do for that to make it look more OEM and clean, like I said, I'm trying to go for as much of an OEM look as possible on this. Just because the last car I cut so many corners, I wanted this one to look really, really nice. So I'm gonna end up using this stuff here. It's just flex tubing. I'm just going to use that where the red was. But let's go ahead and show you the sub. Boom, and there we go. My brand new sub setup is complete and it looks awesome. All right guys, so I am actually incredibly happy with how this ended up. I think it looks really, really nice. I think for sure, cool adding in the LED right there. For the trunk just makes it look so much cleaner back here. It definitely makes me want to get LEDs up front because it just makes it so much cleaner and more modern feeling. Especially also having this custom box. Now the biggest thing with this one, I'm linking every single product in the description because he actually told me where he got it all. You can see the fitment's not perfect. You can see like there's a gap like that. But that is only because we actually have plywood underneath the carpet. When I got this seat, it had no spare tire or anything. All it had was the carpet and that little flimsy piece. That's just like a protection for the spare tire. That's all that was in here. So every time I put anything in here, it just sink down. So this will actually be really, really nice because I can actually use my trunk again. So that's why we have a piece of plywood that's a lot thicker. So that's why it doesn't slide in all the way. But let me go ahead and grab a light and I can show you the amp. Check it out. I love these new little lights my dad got. They're magnetic and they work so well. But here is the sub all hooked up. It's just sitting on it, but the sub is so, the amp. The amp is so heavy that it really doesn't move. It did, however, when I did like a little donut in the snow, it did slide off, but other than that, it's pretty sturdy on there. But yeah, so that's it. The sub is completely installed. Actually, when it's turned on, those words right there glow, and it's really, really cool looking. It'd be really cool if it was red, like the theme of the interior, but it's okay. So yeah, it looks super, super good. I think having a solid trunk now and having just this clean OEM looks awesome. I think it's so nice, and it definitely is much, much needed for the trunk of it. So with that being said, there is a lot of cleanup I have to do. Installing subs is definitely not like the easiest thing. I mean, it's somewhat easy. We would have had it on our first try 100%. We had it all right. I just didn't know the Z specifically had like 2 different OEM harnesses connecting to the new harness, and basically we had 2 different sets of blue and white wires, which is what I needed for the remote turn on, and I was using the wrong one. So it's not really, I wouldn't say it's stupid of me, because I didn't know any better until we went and tested it all out. Because like I said, you guys saw earlier, the blue and white for the actual head unit wiring harness is what I needed to use, not the other one. Actually, this is going to be coming out tonight. Like, I'm going to finish filming this segment and then upload it to YouTube so you guys can watch it tonight. Tomorrow's Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so don't have to work or don't have school that day, so I have to work. But I'm going to spend the morning tomorrow doing what I call a detail on the interior of the Z, and I'll upload that, and you guys will be seeing that video Wednesday, because you can tell, especially after working on this, the Z is in a, you can't really see, but the Z to me is super, super dirty and needed of a desperate clean. Everyone knows that. Oh, there goes my light. Everyone knows that I'm very, very picky about my interior, and if, like, you can tell, if there's one thing out of place, it kills me. That has nothing to do, you can see, nothing else I'm that way. You should see my bedroom, but for my interior that way. So anyways, this is it for the sub install. It looks so good. I'm so happy with it. Thank you, Cole, for helping me out, and thank you, my dad, for helping me out with all this. Overall, though, I'm incredibly stoked. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you do have any questions about how this worked, I know it's kind of hard. You see videos out there, but you always run into issues yourself. And if you do run into issues, you can comment on YouTube. I usually don't see the replies just because I don't have updates via YouTube. But if you just message me on Instagram, my Instagram will be in the description. Feel free to send me a direct message, and I always reply to those. So if you have any questions, if you're installing a sub yourself on your Z or any car that is, just go ahead and send me a message, and I'll do the best I can to answer. But other than that, guys, hope you enjoy the subs as well. And you guys have a great day. I'll see you Wednesday. Sorry guys, so I know I was supposed to end the video, but I totally forgot to even give you guys a sound demo of these 2 CT Sound Strato 10-inch speakers. So I don't, sadly it's too late tonight to really blare them because most of my family's in bed and my parents have to work in the morning. But I did get a clip from earlier. So this clip you're about to watch, I put on my Instagram story, and that was the sub on my head unit. The sub volume was at 2 on my head unit. It can go to 10. So just put that in perspective. The sub volume was only at 2, and it was still shaking the car that much. I am super happy. It sounds so freaking good. These are really, really powerful subs. So yeah, hope you enjoy that little clip, and then I'll see you guys.